Jesus said to his disciples, "There will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, and on the earth distress among nations, confused by the roaring of the sea and the waves. People will faint from fear and foreboding of what is coming upon the world, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Now, when these things begin to take place, stand up and raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near."
For those who are disciples, Jesus is the root teacher of the human quest. Faith becomes relationship, a unique companionship on life's path, liberating us from isolation whilst freeing us from suffocation by the crowd. Like any faithful relationship, discipleship evolves, taking many forms, becoming a deeper union, taking us through the worst that can befall us. At the centre of our being, Jesus identifies us to ourselves as disciples. Jesus often speaks directly and intimately to his disciples in a voice different from his public voice. He longs to share with us everything he has learned as a disciple to the Father. His longing for us to understand awakes in us a revolution to discipleship and our sense of God. Our Advent pilgrimage begins by listening to what Jesus says about the end of the world, our private world, the planetary world, every kind of world. It is apocalyptic. It is horrific. Jesus warns his disciples to be prepared. His language should evoke our fear of an ecological apocalypse, the signs of which we see in the world today: the floods, the deforestation, the plastic polluted oceans, the change of seasons and melting ice caps. Denial is the first reaction to the fear of death, but the inescapable fear will build, disrupting all relationships. Behind every manifestation of fear is the horror of loss, aroused by every loss we undergo. People die of fear, Jesus says, because fear deprives us of the capacity for love. This seems a world away from the celebration of Christmas as we know it. We hold in awkward tension the birth of a baby in Bethlehem and Christ's second coming. And yet, in our fragile and divided world, Jesus still imparts his liberating command. He says, "Do not fear. Be upright, dignified in your divine humanity, and wait." Learning to wait and pray is at the heart of our Advent pilgrimage. Waiting releases our hidden resources of hope. Waiting is self-control, care for our physical and mental well-being, avoiding excess and anxiety. It is the conscious and hopeful waiting of the disciple. And as hope builds in us, we are led to an outpouring of the love we possess for a distressed creation. Advent God, fire our imaginations in the hope of your loving freedom. in the cause of your kingdom breaking into our world. Let your Spirit, wild as the wind, but gentle as the dove, move within us and our relationships, that we may enliven and strengthen our faith and move in the world with hope, anticipation, and joy. Amen.